I believe you're supposed to press that play button on the video, Doc. Hi everyone, Josh Edwards here with the United Region, and for the first time, it's not just me. We have not one but two very special occasions, and the first we'll have plenty more time to explore, or I wish we had more time tonight, but for now I simply want to introduce you to someone very special, a good friend of mine and the newest member of United Region, Nicole Sprung.
Hey everybody!
Nicole is joining me for her internet debut for a very special occasion. Believe it or not, this isn't the only big celebration of the year. This July marked the 75th anniversary of quite the American icon, Nicole, Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny. Say, does he have great big long ears? Like this? Yeah. Uh-huh. And does he hop around like this? Well, does he say, "What's up, Doc?" like this? What's up, Doc? Yeah! Nope. Never heard of him.
For over half a century, this cartoon rabbit has become quite a household name, and believe me, despite that clip, I can imagine needs no introduction. But before we move on from the beginning to the end, or at least what's happening with our furry friend now, I suppose many of you at home are wondering why my friend Nicole is wearing a wig. Nicole?
It's all about the hair.
Exactly. And that's exactly the kind of humor that Bugs Bunny has inspired in not just his cartoons, but that of many others, and not just with Warner Brothers, the founding company, but also with many other slapstick, animated, as well as live action programs, Entertainment Today. And it's hard to imagine that all began back in 1940 in the classic cartoon I remember. Is one of my, not my very first, but one of my first cartoons with Bugs Bunny. It was Wacky Hair. With, let's see, where Bugs Bunny would start his lifelong tradition of outsmarting that famous but not so successful hunter, Elmer Fudd.
You know, I believe this fella is a R-A-B-B-I-T. Pardon me, but you know, you look just like a rabbit.
Come here. Listen, Doc. Now, don't spread this around. But, confidentially, I am a rabbit!
Now, along with many other, really all pieces of animation, at least ones with lines and scripts, there has to be a voiceover artist, a person behind the character, not unlike live acting, just in a different perspective, I guess we could say. And Nicole, there was a voice for Bugs Bunny all those years ago, wasn't there? Would you be able to tell us who he is?
Mel Blanc, the one and only.
That one and only is right. Although Bugs Bunny was not the one and only character that he voiced. In fact, technically, he didn't just make a debut with that one character. His debut was technically two. He did Elmer and has done many others, which we will get to exploring some of the characters that Bugs has, well, how shall I say this, given a path for, or paved a path for many different Looney Tunes. And definitely Elmer is one of them. And yes, Mel Blanc, voiceover artist, brilliant. He Oh yes, in fact, almost all but one or two Looney Tunes were voiced by him. Isn't
I
that
think
right?
you're right. Yeah.
Yes, and also he also did the voice of Barney Rubble in the Flintstones,
Yes.
as well as many other cartoons. I can't say I know which, but truly, maybe not the founder, but
Oh, it's
he might as well have
definitely
been like the surrogate father of
Yeah.
voiceover. And
Definitely a legend.
yes, and so much. I couldn't have said better myself. Legend is just the perfect word, and because even after his passing, sadly, that did not end the legacy of the Looney Tunes. In fact, the first live action, at least full-length live action film, which would favor the Looney Tunes, came place a little shy of a decade after his passing, and many other talented voiceover artists have successfully carried on the legacy of this fabled rabbit, as well as some foul mouthed and gun shy and a little how shall I say this, quick, even more quick tempered, or should I say red faced characters. You know who I mean, don't
Yeah.
you? Yes. Yeah, you'll sound the sound. Thank you. So yes, hard to imagine an act as hard to follow as Mel Blanc. And speaking of which, speaking of hard acts to follow, Bugs Bunny certainly is, and heaven knows there is one character that's always trying to follow his coattail, which is amazing because his tail is that of foul. And I think we all know who I'm talking about. Daffy Duck.
I'm telling you, Daffy, I heard the Warner Brothers say you were their best duck. Flattered though I may be, flattened I will not, in order for you to get the laugh. It's all woohoo, yuck yuck, and then bam wham bam. And your tail is on fire. Exactly my point. No, really, your tail's on fire. Daff, you're accident prone.
Yes, for over 75 years, this paper drawn, well, this isn't paper drawn, but it's hard to imagine that the idea of Bugs Bunny just began with a pad and a pencil over 75 years ago, and has inspired not only so many franchises and cartoons and films, but also, and I don't just mean the live action, even when Mel Blanc was still around, they did make some made-for-television Bugs Bunny films. The Looney Bugs Bunny movie, the Roadrunner Bugs Bunny movie, where they actually do a little bit of exploring in the life of Mel Blanc in the early days of Hollywood, the golden days of television, and how things were getting started. And it's hard to imagine that even after all this time, Bugs Bunny is inspiring not just his own career, I guess you could say, but and not just an entire franchise of Looney Tunes is what he's leading, but also he's the face of an entire corporation which just had its centennial 2 years ago. Warner Brothers has now just celebrated, back 2023, its 100th anniversary with Bugs Bunny as the face. And as you might recall or imagine, has been introducing, or sort of the first face you see in many different Warner Brothers projects as early as maybe 30 years ago or 20 years ago. And it's hard to imagine that even today, big films like Space Jam, Nicole, back in '96, and Looney Tunes Back in Action, still making an entire world laugh and love today, with people of all different backgrounds and perspectives being brought together by one great idea. And that's exactly what the United Region is about. And I certainly hope that's what a lot of you take out of this. And I can't say when, but I can let a lot of you in on a little secret. Even Nicole may not know this. I have some eyes and ears, but pun intended, saying that actually many of you may know about that Wile E. Coyote movie that sadly was, how shall I say this, kind of put off or dismissed from being in theaters. Not only is that movie coming back into theater, there's a good chance, but more focused on the rabbit at hand, or the subject matter. I heard, now mind you, I intend to look more into this, but I heard there may be another Looney Tune project in the mix, another film starring his truly. Yes, the one rich in carat gold, one might say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining us, and especially Nicole, thank you. I'm so glad you'll be joining the team. This is incredible. I really look forward to more projects and being part of this with everyone. This really means a lot. Thank you. And we're about out of time, but before we go, Nicole, remind me, you had something you wanted to kind of share with the audience, or what was it? There was something, I remember now. Do you remember? You literally have it in the palm of your hand. Next year, our little hint.
Space Jam will be celebrating its 30th anniversary.
That's right, 1996. I honestly can't. And I've been waiting a while for this, but never had the right time. Rest assured, we are going to celebrate. We plan on celebrating. I know it's a while, but rest assured, we definitely count on celebrating, hopefully with all of you out there, both throughout this united region of the United States and beyond, wherever people either love the Looney Tunes or play basketball, anywhere you can watch us, we plan to celebrate with you. I'm Josh Edwards.
And I'm Nicole Sprung.
And that's the end.